By midnight, the only lights left in Marsh Creek Plaza are the pharmacy cross at the far end, the pawn shop's dead neon, and ours. Ours is a private room karaoke lounge wedged between a shuttered tax office and a nail salon, out on the state route where eastern Pennsylvania starts running out of town. 7 rooms off one carpeted hallway, a front counter, and a smell of fabric spray that follows me home on my clothes. I took the closing shift the summer I turned 22, 10 at night to 2 in the morning, 6 nights a week. The pay was nothing, but the work was quiet, and quiet was what I wanted that year. Closing meant wiping microphones, mopping the hallway, and counting a drawer that rarely broke $300. The laminated checklist on the counter ran 14 items, and the last one was written in a different ink than the rest. Keep the door to room 7 shut. Room 7 sat at the dead end of the hallway, past the ice machine, where the carpet gave up its pattern to a long gray stain. We used it for storage, soda cases, a mop bucket, a box of dead bulbs nobody threw out. The machine in there was nothing like the touchscreen units in the other 6 rooms. It was a cabinet model, wood veneer and chrome, a tube television set into it like an eye, built by a company that stopped existing before I was born. Its coin slot was taped over with packing tape, gone the color of old teeth. Whoever taped it had gone around twice and smoothed every edge flat, the way you tape something you do not plan to reopen. The first Tuesday in June, I saw light under the door of 7. I figured somebody had left something running, so I opened the door to shut it down. The room was dark except for the television, which sat on the results screen. Every karaoke machine has one, the screen that comes up when a song ends, and the box decides what your singing was worth. This one showed a song title in tall white letters, till the dance hall empties, and under the title, a score. 91. There was no fan noise, no cartridge whirring, none of the small warmth a running machine puts into a closed room. Just the number, steady as a pilot light. I looked for power and found a rocker switch on the cabinet's flank, worn smooth, already sitting it off. I clicked it up and down twice, and the screen did not so much as flicker. So I did what you do at 22. I shut the door, finished the mop, and went home. Mr. Paik owned the place, a careful man in his 60s who came in each afternoon and left when the plaza's dinner traffic died. When I mentioned the screen the next day, he stopped restocking the candy shelf with his hand still inside the box. He asked me the number. Not the song, the number. When I said 91, he wrote it in a green notebook behind the register, on a page that already held a column of numbers. Then he told me the rule, and he recited it like a phone number he had paid dearly to learn. Leave the door shut, leave the tape alone, and if the screen ever reads 99, call him any hour of the night. I asked what happened at 100. He finished the candy shelf and said gum went stale faster than people thought, and that was the whole answer I ever got. I would like to say I let it alone, but I was 22 and the shift was 4 hours of nothing. I started a log on the back page of my checklist copy. 91 held for 5 nights. On the 6th night it said 92, same title, tape untouched. 92 held for 4 nights, then came 93. Always overnight, never while I stood there, the way a clock's hour hand moves only when you look away. I checked the booking sheet going back a month. Nobody had rented 7 because nobody could. Darlene, the day woman, had been there longer than Mr. Paik's lease, and she said the machine came with the unit from when the space was a supper club. She said the song was older still, a slow two-step her mother used to hum, and she said it with her eyes on the register. I asked her who was singing it, and she found something that needed doing in room 3. The first time I heard the applause, I was mopping the far end of the hallway around 1 in the morning. It came through the shut door of 7, thin and boxy, the canned clapping every machine keeps for the end of a song, a dozen pairs of hands recorded 50 years ago. It ran its 8 seconds and cut off in the middle of a clap. No song had come before it, just the applause, alone for nothing. When I opened the door, the screen said 95, and I stood in the cold soda smell, understanding the number had changed while I was 10 feet away. I stopped logging after that, and then I started again, because not knowing felt worse. June went out, July came in hot, and the plaza's dry cleaner gave up, leaving one more dark storefront. 96 on the 8th. 97 on the 17th. 98 on the 24th, and that was the night I heard the song itself for the first time. It bled up through the carpet seams, slow and courtly, horns gone soft with age, a voice so far back in the mix you could not have sworn it was a voice. Rooms 2 and 4 were rented, college kids shouting over each other, and none of them noticed the old two-step moving under their songs like a tide under boats. I stood at the counter with the phone in my hand and did not call because the screen still said 98 and the rule said 99. I have thought a lot about that piece of obedience since. 99 came on the last night of July, at 11 minutes past 1 in the morning. I know the minute because I was in the doorway when the screen blinked, the only time I ever saw it change. The digit rolled over with a small chime, the applause played and cut off mid-clap, and the hallway felt like the inside of a held breath. I called Mr. Paik. He answered on the first ring, at 1 in the morning, like a man who had slept next to that phone for years. He told me not to open the door again that night, and that he would come the next evening with his brother-in-law and a truck. Then he said something quiet in Korean, not to me, and hung up. The next night, the song started at 20 minutes to 11, while I still had customers in 3 rooms. It did not stop at the end of its 3 minutes. It looped, or it never reached its own last bar. I could not tell, the melody folding back on itself like a ribbon being wound. By midnight, the customers were gone, and it was louder, and the light under the door had gone from television blue to something warmer, like a room with candles in it. I did the only thing left. I went to the breaker panel in the back closet and started throwing switches. Rooms 1 through 6 died, the register died, the sign out front died. I threw the main, and the whole building dropped into the battery glow of the exit signs. And under the exit signs, steady as ever, the old two-step kept rolling out of room 7, small and courtly and patient, a dance band playing somewhere with no electricity in it. I listened to a machine sing with the power off, and my arms went cold in a building that was 80 degrees inside. Mr. Paik's headlights swung across the front glass at midnight. He came in with his brother-in-law and a dolly, and he did not touch the breakers or his green notebook. He looked at the light under the door of 7 for a long moment, and there was no surprise anywhere in him. We opened the door together. The room was warm, and the screen had left the results page for the singing page, the one with the bouncing mark that shows where you are in the song. The mark was most of the way across the last line. Mr. Paik put his shoulder against the cabinet, said now, and the 3 of us walked that machine away from the wall it had faced for 40 years. Behind it, coiled in the dust like something asleep, lay the power cord, tied off with the same yellowed tape as the coin slot, its prongs bright and unbent, never once in a wall. The outlet behind the cabinet had been painted over so many times it was only a shape, a blind socket under decades of landlord white. The song did not stop when we moved it. It thinned the way music thins when you carry a radio between rooms, and the mark held still, waiting, while we rolled the cabinet out the loading door. In the open air it was almost nothing, a music box version of itself, horns like breath on a window. As Mr. Paik cinched the strap over the truck bed, the song reached some bar I could no longer hear, and very small, under the summer bugs, the applause began. Mr. Paik got into the cab faster than I have ever seen him move. He drove out of the plaza with the clapping still going in the truck bed, and if the screen ever showed its last number, it showed it on a dark road, to nobody. He came back near dawn with the bed empty, and he washed his hands at the mop sink for a long time. I asked him one question, whose score it was. He said that when he bought the place, the number stood at 81, and that it took 12 years to climb to 90. 6 weeks for the last 9. That was all he gave me, and I stopped asking, because the arithmetic was doing something in my head I did not want finished. Room 7 is an honest storage room now, steel shelves and a new light, and the door stays propped open on a rubber wedge. Darlene hums at the register sometimes, old slow things her mother liked, and she always stops herself a few bars in, like a woman stepping back from a curb. I still have my log, the back page with its little column of numbers, 91 at the top and 99 at the bottom. There is room on the page for one more entry. I keep it blank, because whatever was singing in that room had earned its applause 1 point at a time, and I will not be the audience it was working toward.